Welcome, and thank you for joining us to celebrate the Abcfp's 2021 award winners. I'm Trevor Joyce, the Abcfp's 74th president. I handed over the reins of the office of the president to Lorimer Rp on Wednesday during our AGM, which now makes me the immediate past president. Much like 2020, 2021 was a challenging year as we found ourselves in year 2 of a pandemic. I think I can speak for everyone and that we have heard enough of common words and phrases like flattening the curve, new normal, and quarantine. The reality is the past 2 years has shaped us in different ways. Year 1 stretched us, and year 2 stretched us even further. We also saw fires and floods across the landscape, conflict and dialogue around old growth, forced policy changes, and the Professional Governance Act officially came into force. And we stood with compassion and empathy in our hearts in support of all Indigenous peoples, especially in regard to the legacy of residential schools and the ongoing impact to Indigenous peoples today. What I see now is a strong and resilient group of forest professionals poised to take on the challenges we will face. I'm proud of all the forest professionals who, through hard work and dedication, continue to ensure BC's forests are in good hands. In a pandemic-free world, we would have celebrated the Abcfp's award winners face-to-face during the President's Awards banquet. For a second year in a row, we gather virtually to recognize those who have gone above and beyond to help better the forest sector and those who have greatly contributed to the professional development of forest professionals across our great province. I encourage you to reach out to our award winners to share a special message and a virtual toast. Before we dive into our award ceremony, I want to take a moment to recognize the people who have joined us virtually for our conference. More than 2,000 people have joined us from across the forest sector for the Abcfp's 74th annual conference and AGM. Thank you for being here with us. Now, I'd like to recognize our loyal sponsors who support the Abcfp's annual forestry conference and AGM, and by doing so, help contribute to the professional development of forest professionals across British Columbia. These 4 legacy sponsors have shown ongoing support for the Abcfp conference for many years, and it's gratifying to see them back once again. BC Ministry of Forests, Lands, Natural Resource Operations and Rural Development, Canfor, Interfor Corporation, and Natural Resources Canada Canadian Forest Service. Thank you so much for your continued support. As well, I want to recognize and thank our signature sponsors. DWB Consulting Services Limited, Foresight Consultants Limited, Mosaic Forest Management, Paper Excellence, Strategic Natural Resource Consultants, and Tolco. Thank you. The Abcfp conference is about maintaining our professional competence while learning from each other. I'd also like to acknowledge the companies who have registered a large number of their employees for this year's conference. I encourage all professionals, young and old, that are attending to use the opportunity to learn and grow to your advantage. By supporting employees to attend the Abcfp conference, these companies are supporting forestry as a profession. I would like to say a sincere thank you to BC Timber Sales, BC Ministry of Forests, Lands, Natural Resource Operations and Rural Development, Canfor, Foresight Consultants Limited, Gorman Group, Interfor Corporation, Mosaic Forest Management, West Fraser Mills Limited, and Western Forest Products. Now, let's get to the awards. The TD Insurance Meloche Monix Valedictorian Award recognizes Abcfp inductees who achieved the highest average mark across the suite of registration exams for both the RFT and RPF registrant categories. Both the RFT and RPF valedictorians are also awarded a $375 cash prize from TD Insurance Meloche Monix. The TD Insurance Meloche Monix Valedictorian Award winners are Carly Farrell, RFT, and Marie Vance, PhD, RPF. Congratulations, Carly and Marie. I'd also like to congratulate the winner of the Forest Engineering Award of Excellence. The award is co-sponsored by the Engineers and Geoscientists of BC, EGBC, and recognizes excellence and promotes cooperation and leadership in forest engineering. In 2021, Engineers and Geoscientists British Columbia presented the Forest Engineering Award of Excellence to Lee Delorier Peng Rpf. Lee has over 25 years of experience in the natural resource sector with industry, government, and consulting. His expertise involves the design and construction of resource sector infrastructure, including bridges, culverts, roads, and retaining walls in steep mountainous terrain, as well as log handling facilities and infrastructure for First Nations, parks, mining, renewable energy, and pipelines. Lee volunteers in the Resource Sector Division of EGBC, the Joint Practices Board of EGBC Abcfp as a board member, and has co-authored technical papers and professional practice guidelines, including version 3 of the Crossing Guidelines. Lee lives in Campbell River with his wife and business partner, Janice Mathers, and daughter Isla. EGBC presented Lee with his award in 2021. Congratulations, Lee. Our next award is for Abcfp Honorary Membership. This award recognizes an individual for outstanding contributions to forestry, the forestry profession, or the Abcfp. Honorary membership is granted to an individual who is not a registrant of the Abcfp. For 2021, Abcfp honorary membership is granted to Bryce Bancroft, RP Bio. For decades, the focus of Bryce's work has been on improving forest practices and stewardship by clarifying the science, increasing the understanding of complex subjects, and facilitating meaningful discussion and sound decision-making. Bryce has built a reputation as an educator, trainer, and facilitator, helping to develop and deliver training for government, industry, and consulting practitioners across the province on topics such as tree species selection for climate change, operational use of the deviation from potential stocking standards, commercial thinning application management, management of stand density, reforestation recommendations, and vegetation management. However, Bryce is perhaps best known for his work helping practitioners understand and make decisions for partial cutting silviculture systems, including variable retention. Bryce has also been instrumental in helping the province develop policies, guidance, and protocols supporting good stewardship and sound forest management. Over the past 12 years, Bryce helped develop an approach for Type 4 silviculture strategies, integrated stewardship strategies, 2 climate change vulnerability assessments in the Kamloops TSA, and the emerging provincial vision for forest landscape planning. Currently, he is helping facilitate 2 planning processes involving First Nations and industry, using the forest landscape planning approach. Over the past 40 years, Bryce has influenced many forest professionals in BC with his open, inquisitive, and collaborative approach, his outstanding sense of humor, and the depth of his knowledge and interests. He has been directly involved in many of the major advances in silviculture thinking and forest management approaches in BC in the past 30 years, and his work has significantly influenced forest practices on the ground and stewardship generally across the province. Congratulations, Bryce.
Hello, my name is Bryce Bancroft. I'm extremely honored to be granted this prestigious award. When one looks at the former recipients, one is truly humbled. I'd like to thank those that nominated me, as each of the signatories I respect very much for both their professionalism and pursuit of sustainable management. I too would like to thank the selection committee for their allowing me to join this important group. One person who has been instrumental in my achieving this award is my work colleague and good friend, Ken Zelke, who by chance is being awarded the Distinguished Forester Award this year. I cannot think of a more deserving person. His enthusiasm and commitment to promote sustainable forest management has been his mantra for his entire career. And with him, I've hopefully been helpful in promoting this concept. I began my career in resource management with summer working, fighting fires, setting chokers, and collecting inventory data in the far reaches of the province. Once I completed my BSc in botany, I was open to what may come for the future. As would happen, a position with the forest ecology section in Kamloops became available, and my wife, who had worked with a number of ecologists, felt I'd make a good fit. It was a great 3 years of constant learning. As it would happen, a new government provided me with the conditions for me to return to university, where I obtained a Master's of Resource Management from Simon Fraser. It was within this program that my field of view was expanded to see resource management as a suite of complementary talents. One memory that I have that frames how resource management has evolved in my career is one day when I was setting chokers for Crown Zellerback in Kokish. I was on a break with my fellow loggers when I noticed that everything in our view was part of the timber harvesting land base, something that we could all understand as we were often perched on cliffs overlooking the ocean. At that time, I suggested the pie may not be the same as in the future. That has definitely come to pass. Our approach of resource management is now much more inclusive of other values that provide a more sustainable future for the various important values a forest provides. I'd like to share a small event that brings my old partner Ken into the story, along with my mentor, Bill Beasy. We were at Cisco in Penticton when Ken and I got a tap on the shoulder. It was about 3 p.m. We were asked if we wouldn't mind giving the after dinner speech, as Bill, who was going to give it, was stuck in a snowstorm in Chicago. He must have thought it had been somewhat prescient, as he provided us with his slide deck. So Ken and I spent a couple of hours going through the deck, trying to determine what Bill may have said. As it turned out, we introduced ourselves as step-ins for Bill. I said I was Bill with the mustache. Ken was Beasy with the hair. The participants heard Ken as Easy, which softened up the crowd. The talk went well. It was on variable retention, which we both were well versed in, as was Bill. In closing, I'd like to thank my wife, Suzanne, and my 2 sons, Tyson and Mitch, for their constant support and enthusiasm as I recounted my travels in the province and beyond, trying to help bring the concept of integrated resource management to those I encountered. Thank you again for this prestigious award.
Our next award is the BC Forest Professional Magazine Best Article. This award is designed to encourage and recognize the people who volunteer to share their knowledge by contributing to our magazine. The award is decided by the BC Forest Professional Magazine Editorial Advisory Panel. For their article, Community Forest Perspectives and Engagement in Wildfire Management, the winners of the BC Forest Professional Magazine Best Article are Kelsey Kopes-Gerbitz, PhD, Sarah Dixon Hoyle, Shannon Hagerman, PhD, and Lori Daniels, PhD. Kelsey Kopes-Gerbitz, PhD, public scholar, achieved her PhD under the co-supervision of Shannon Hagerman, PhD, and Lori Daniels, PhD. Kelsey is a postdoctoral fire researcher in the Faculty of Forestry at the University of British Columbia. Her research shows how perceptions of wildfire, including those of Indigenous communities, land managers, and governance experts, shape past, current, and future approaches to wildfire management in BC. Sarah Dixon Hoyle is a PhD candidate and public scholar who is co-supervised by Shannon Hagerman, PhD, and Lori Daniels, PhD, in the Faculty of Forestry at the University of British Columbia. Her research interests include community-based wildfire management and fire ecology, and her current research focused on Indigenous wildfire recovery in British Columbia. Sarah's research on the responses of First Nations communities and their territories to the 2017 Elephant Hill wildfire informs improved collaboration in wildfire management. Shannon Hagerman, PhD, is Associate Professor and Associate Dean of Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies at the Faculty of Forestry. Her research interests as Principal Investigator of the Social Ecological Systems Research Group center on the science policy management interface in the context of adapting conservation and resource management to climate change. Her decades-long work on the emergence and evolution of novel interventions for forests and biodiversity, such as assisted migration and new biotechnologies, reveals the contested, value-laden, and inescapably social and political dimensions that shape transformative change. Lori Daniels, PhD, is a professor of forest ecology in the Department of Forest and Conservation Sciences where she directs the Tree Ring Lab at UBC. Lori investigates the impacts of natural and human disturbances and climate change on forests. With her research team, she has ongoing projects on wildfires, forest dynamics, and social ecological resilience to climate change across British Columbia. Her enduring partnerships with local, provincial, and national governments, environmental organizations, forest management companies, community forests, and First Nations ensure her scientific advances are translated to active conservation, restoration, and management. Together, the four authored the article, Community Forest Perspectives and Engagement in Wildfire Management, an adaptation of a much larger report based on their research, which drew upon interviews with 24 community forests across BC. Their article summarizes the results of the report, including approaches for proactive wildfire management, ongoing challenges, factors that enable innovation, overarching priorities for the future of wildfire management, and key recommendations that can support community forests and communities across BC to develop proactive solutions to address wildfire risk. Kelsey, Sarah, Shannon, and Lori's article was published in the winter 2021 edition of BC Forest Professional. Congratulations, Kelsey, Sarah, Shannon, and Lori.
My name is Kelsey Copes-Gerwitz, and on behalf of my co-authors and colleagues, Sarah Dixon Hoyle, Dr. Shannon Hagerman, and Dr. Lori Daniels, we would like to thank the Abcfp for awarding us the BC Forest Professional Magazine Best Article of the Year for our Community Forest Perspectives and Engagement with Wildfire Management article in the winter 2021 issue. This work would not have been possible without the financial support of a Community Solutions grant from the Peter Wall Institute of Advanced Studies at the University of British Columbia, and the time and expertise of 26 community forest managers from the BC Community Forest Association who shared their stories with us. We would also like to thank Stephanie Troughton for facilitating its original publication in the UBC Branchlines magazine, and Cheryl Waddell for providing us the opportunity to share our research with the Abcfp. Our article highlights the diverse and innovative work that community forests are doing to address wildfire risk. Work that is imperative and urgent, given that 3 of the largest wildfire seasons on record have occurred here in the last 5 years. Community forest managers highlighted priorities for the future of wildfire management in BC, including refocusing forest management with a fire lens, managing fire for landscape resilience through restoring fire as a natural and cultural process, and scaling up collaborations. To enable these priorities and support communities across BC addressing wildfire risk, our research demonstrates the need to continue multi-year funding programs, provide additional tools and training to overcome persistent capacity barriers, continue revising forest planning and legislation to enable prioritization of wildfire risk reduction, and expand government outreach positions to build synergistic collaborations with Indigenous and local communities, governments, and forest professionals. While the potential pathways forward are challenging yet clear, it can be frustrating and heartbreaking to see the consequences of inaction in BC year after year. Nevertheless, we find strength and inspiration from the expertise in and passion for BC's forests and communities that exist within the Abcfp. We hope that you will continue to be agents of positive change addressing the growing risk of catastrophic wildfire in BC. Thank you from all of us.
Congratulations again, Kelsey, Sarah, Shannon, and Lori. Our next award is the Jim Rodney Memorial Volunteer of the Year. This award recognizes an individual for outstanding volunteer service to the association and the profession. The Volunteer of the Year award was named in memory of Jim Rodney Rpf, who passed away in 2004. Demonstrating his passion for his chosen profession, Jim Rodney was always willing to give his time and energy to advance the practice of forestry. His volunteerism and the award that bears his name stand as inspiration to everyone. We have two winners for the Jim Rodney Memorial Volunteer of the Year, Richard Kane, RPF, and John Niels, RPF, CPA, CMA. Our first 2021 Jim Rodney Memorial Volunteer of the Year Award winner is Richard Kane, RPF. Richard is a graduate of Thompson Rivers University's Bachelor of Natural Resource Science program. He enrolled with the Abcfp as an Allied Science Forester in training and became an RPF in 2016. His primary work focus is in managing timber development projects at a mid-sized consulting company in Kamloops, and he also is a sponsoring forester for a TFT navigating the new module-based articling requirements. Richard has been a member of the Abcfp's Credentials Committee since January 2019. He's also a member of the RPF Competency Working Group, which adjudicates credential assessment process results and establishes gap-filling requirements for the Allied Science Foresters in Training. Richard has been instrumental in revising the RPF Competency Working Group adjudication approach to be a more fair and consistent process for candidates and members alike. Congratulations, Richard.
I feel very privileged to have been presented with this year's Jim Rodney Memorial Volunteer of the Year Award. My sincere thanks go out to the registrants who had a role in my nomination. While I'm confident that there are many others worthy of such recognition, I suspect my nomination is largely because I began volunteering with the Abcfp early on in my career, rather than waiting to become a seasoned professional. In truth, while articling for my RPF status, I provided the Abcfp with some constructive feedback about my experience, specifically directed toward the credential assessment process for Allied Science Foresters in Training. Rather than forgetting about my comments once the process was behind me, I chose to continue to engage with the association about the issues. This eventually led to me joining the Credentials Committee and the RPF Competency Working Group, which works with Allied Science Foresters in Training going through the credential assessment process. Although I could no longer directly benefit from improvements to the process, I felt strongly that I wanted to contribute to fair and transparent processes for the benefit of other trainees and the association as a whole. The power of volunteering with the Abcfp is that now that I no longer have a personal stake in the process, I can be sure I'm advocating for what is best for my fellow registrants rather than what is best for myself. I'm certain that wherever we are in our careers, we have something to offer to the practice of professional forestry. New and veteran registrants bring different assets to the profession, and the full spectrum is needed for good forest stewardship. Our association is no different from professional practice. It is best served by a diversity of professionals collectively working to protect the public interest. If you are passionate about an aspect of professional forestry, I encourage you to consider volunteering with the association wherever you are in your career.
Congratulations again, Richard. Our next Jim Rodney Memorial Volunteer of the Year Award winner is John Niels, RPF, CPA, CMA. John started his career in Williams Lake as a small business owner, logging contractor, then went into forestry consulting. He currently lives in Vancouver and has been at the National Lumber Grades Authority for 13 years, where he's currently the president. John has been extremely helpful on the Finance Advisory Panel, and particularly helpful on the Abcfp transition of a new Director of Finance and Administration during 2021. For nearly a decade, the Abcfp has benefited from John's expertise in financial management and from his many decades of experience in business administration. He's helped craft all of the financial policies in place today at the Abcfp and has been a reliable source of practical and insightful advice on Finance Committee Advisory Panel, as well as Forest Trust and various ad hoc subcommittees. Congratulations, John.
Good afternoon, all. I'm delighted to accept the 2021 Abcfp Jim Rodney Memorial Volunteer of the Year Award. I must admit I was very surprised to receive this nomination, let alone be awarded the recognition. It was totally unexpected. I wish to express thanks to council, staff, and fellow association members for the award, I want to emphasize that I share this recognition with the other members of the Finance Committee, or in the new professional governance parlance, the Finance Advisory Panel. We collectively provided advice and guidance to council and staff on association financial matters, and hopefully in a positive way. I know there are countless others that provide many hours to our profession, whether serving on council, volunteering on association committees, or participating in professional activities. All these volunteer efforts increase the furtherance of our profession. I encourage all members to contribute where they can. We all have strengths and specialties that can make a difference. As the association and the profession move to the challenges of the future, volunteers will be an integral part of the process. Thanks again for the recognition.
Congratulations again, John. Our next award is the Forest Innovation Award. Our 2021 award winner is Cynthia Liu, MA, RPF, PAG. Innovative technologies and practices have allowed for the rapid evolution of forestry and the forest products industry. Forest professionals can cover more ground and retrieve more data through LiDAR and GIS systems, construct skyscrapers out of highly durable wood composites, convert lignin and cellulose into usable energy, and robotics research is testing autonomous logging trucks in mill yards. Regardless of how fast technology may move, innovative thinking and our ability to adapt to emerging needs, trends, and conflict is crucial to the success of individuals and the sector as a whole. Cynthia is addressing this need head-on. She is a recognized changemaker in BC's coastal forest sector because of the innovation in thought she's injecting into the profession. Her passion, knowledge, and expertise in conflict management has expanded the way in which peers, colleagues, and the Abcfp view professional competencies. One of Cynthia's most recent accomplishments is the development of an online module that will be required for all new Abcfp registrants. The module revolves around giving forest professionals critical skills and tools in conflict management to enable better decision-making. Cynthia also finds practical ways to ensure forest professionals can access practical skills for overcoming conflict. In a recent article for the BC Forest Professional magazine, she penned a piece on one of the most timely and topical conflicts in forestry, old growth. Cynthia recognized a critical gap: our collective capacity for constructively engaging in conflict. The article provides tools for professionals to use their relative knowledge, experience, and expertise to engage in conflict, arguing that we cannot hold back our participation. Our voices and our expertise on this subject matter is critical for the continued relevance of our profession. Cynthia challenges those around her to be more curious, to ask deeper questions that go beyond the salient, immediately obvious issues. This sort of paradigm shift enables for a resilient, forward-thinking profession. Innovative thinking is a skill of the future, and Cynthia is bringing that to the profession of forestry. Congratulations, Cynthia.
I am humbled and honored to be receiving this award for forest innovation. Thank you to the professionals who nominated me. I had the opportunity to read your submission and it was wildly flattering. Thank you to those who selected me for the award, for your recognition that innovation in our profession can come in various forms. A special thanks to Casey McCauley for seeing the importance of this work and your efforts in turning it into reality. Another special thank you to John Cathro, my partner in crime in developing the new Introduction to Conflict Management module for trainees. John, it's been a pleasure working with you, and I look forward to the day we're able to meet in person for a beer. Our profession is at the front lines of many of our modern society's challenges. To meet these challenges, we need our technical expertise, scientific rigor, on-the-ground field experience, and strong communication and conflict management skills. Over the past year, I've been working with my colleagues towards helping our profession recognize conflict skills as a core competency for all. In addition, we notice a gap in specific training available for resource professionals that fits the context and environments that we work within. The new Introduction to Conflict Management module, our conference session about managing conflict in polarizing times, are the initial steps in addressing this gap. Conflict is not something to be avoided, and it's not something we can avoid. The sooner we start to improve our skills and navigate through our discomfort, the sooner we'll be able to have healthy, functional, and enriching relationships with each other and with forest rights holders and stakeholders. A final thanks to all the professionals who are fellow champions of this work, those who share the belief that our interpersonal skills are every bit as important as our technical skills. I look forward to the day when we no longer consider this as an innovation, but instead know it as a standard of practice. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Cynthia. I'm pleased to present the next award to the Forest Technologist of the Year, recognizing an RFT for outstanding recent service to the profession of forestry and for furthering the principles of the Association of BC Forest Professionals. Our 2021 Forest Technologist of the Year is Maria Leboeuf, RFT, in recognition of the positive impact she has across multiple realms and areas of expertise, with great emphasis on the demonstration of knowledge and mentorship, leadership in action, and women in forestry. Maria currently serves as a senior forester with Strategic Natural Resource Consultants, boasting over 17 years of experience in coastal forestry. Unequivocally, Maria serves as the lifeblood of Strategic's forestry department. She is a dedicated professional, using her wealth of knowledge and expertise and relative position of leadership to uplift others, provide unique insights, and enable everyone around her to be the very best version of themselves. Maria is passionate about silviculture and is at the helm of every silviculture program that Strategic manages. She is currently working with colleagues and clients to make use of drones and drone technology to enhance safety features, particularly with free-growing surveys. She is also the quintessential mentor, the type of person who chooses to share knowledge to empower those around her. She recognizes that building professionals who are ethically bound, safety-oriented, and technically sound requires the development of a solid foundation. Maria takes pride in welcoming new recruits and summer students in the workforce and always advocates for and often leads interactive and engaging training programs. Whether it's teaching the skills we often take for granted, radio, GPS, or iPad use, coordinating safety training, or bringing in experts to tackle chainsaw or pump training, Maria makes a point of focusing time on the efficient and effective use of tools and the creation of safety-oriented professionals. Women, such as Maria, are trailblazers in this industry, each with their own stories of being the first woman in their cohort, company, or sphere of influence to accomplish any number of remarkable feats in an otherwise male-dominated sector. Maria is also a humble leader. She listens attentively, she's empathetic, she inspires teamwork, encourages others to speak up, and she's constantly looking for ways to develop and expand the leadership opportunities of those that work around her. Congratulations, Maria.
It is an honor to be nominated and receive this award. I'd like to thank my colleagues who recognize the work I do and took the time to nominate me. So many people have helped me along my path of success over the years. I've had some really great mentors throughout my career. One aspect of being a professional that is important to me is mentoring and training. My philosophy is to provide new and young professionals the best chance for success, and I believe this is achieved through proper planning and training. I'd like to thank my managers at Strategic for providing me opportunities to learn, grow, and achieve a work-life balance, for entrusting me to train new workers, support and manage large projects, all while still spending quality time with my family. It takes a great team to support each other and help reach our goals. Thank you to my coworkers for creating and maintaining a great team environment and for recognizing and appreciating my hard work and effort.
Congratulations again, Maria. I'm pleased to present the next award for the Professional Forester of the Year, recognizing an RPF for outstanding recent service to the profession of forestry and for furthering the principles of the Association of BC Forest Professionals. The 2021 Professional Forester of the Year is Tanya Collins, RPF, in recognition for her outstanding work in community wildfire resilience in the Fraser Canyon, including the Lytton and Lillooet areas. In the past decade, Tanya's work has focused on wildfire resilience for the forests and communities over an area including Spuzzum, Lytton, Lillooet, Salal, Ashcroft, Nikamin, and the many communities in between. This includes development of community wildfire prevention plans and forest fuel management plans, writing and implementing operational prescriptions for forest fuel management, and taking a leading role in the joint Village of Lytton and Lytton First Nations Fire Smart Committee. As testament to Tanya's work, the Lytton Creek wildfire burned through several of the treated fuel management areas that Tanya wrote prescriptions for, and initial reports indicate that the treatment work met the objectives of dropping the running crown fire down to a less intense surface fire, as well as wildfire suppression personnel being able to incorporate the treated areas into strategic planning for containment and direct suppression activities. Her years of work with the Scupa and Nikamin Indian bands played a significant role in preventing these communities from being lost in the wildfire. Tanya lost her community to the Lytton Creek fire, and she and her 2 children were forced to relocate during the summer months. Tanya's dedication to assisting and protecting communities is highlighted by the fact that even while she was evacuated, she continued her work on projects focused on community wildfire resilience planning. Tanya's strengths in the forestry profession truly shine with her work in Indigenous communities. She is sought by Indigenous communities to help them with wildfire resilience because she is trusted, a trust she has built through understanding and respecting the local communities. Tanya's contributions to the profession of forestry are significant because they are personal. Her level of care when working in fuel management is deeply rooted in her life and community. Bringing the science of forestry and fuel management into the community requires a delicate balance of forest sciences and relationship building, and Tanya has mastered this balance. Congratulations, Tanya.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tanya Collins, and I'm extremely honored to have been both nominated and chosen for the 2021 Forester of the Year Award. I would like to thank my nominators for their insight and guidance with the many projects we have worked on together over the years, my Landscope colleagues for believing in and supporting me in all that I do, the many communities and individuals that I have worked with to implement important on-the-ground initiatives, my kids for being supportive and understanding about my passion for the profession, and the Abcfp for the presentation of this award. Over the course of my career, I've worked in a variety of forestry disciplines from tree planting, engineering, cruising, operational forestry, and planning. But the area of practice that I have become very passionate about is community wildfire resiliency planning and fuel management risk reduction. The events over the past year have been extremely challenging, both professionally as well as on a personal level. On June 30th, 2021, when the Lytton Creek wildfire destroyed my hometown and my childhood home, I was evacuated, scared, and devastated. Having been involved with impacted communities and organizations in their various wildfire resiliency planning and forest fuel reduction efforts for the past 13 years, I was also feeling challenged professionally. Although much of the resulting media focused on the devastation, there were also less highlighted successes that became evident. Several communities were spared by the wildfires due to their long-standing efforts in emergency preparedness, resiliency planning, forest fuel reduction programs, and fire smart initiatives that were successfully implemented over the last decade. It's these successes that we must celebrate and learn from. Looking forward, I know that there is much more research, work, and effort needed by everyone to further reduce catastrophic impacts like what was experienced in 2021. I am excited to be part of enhancing these efforts in the future. Once again, thank you to everyone who has supported me in this journey.
Congratulations again, Tanya. And now it's time for the Abcfp's top award, the Distinguished Forest Professional. The Distinguished Forest Professional Award recognizes ABCFP registrants for outstanding contributions to the profession and for furthering the association's principles. Award winners are selected by the current ABCFP Council and past presidents. It is my privilege to present this award to 4 outstanding individuals. In alphabetical order, the winners are Stephen Lorimer Rpf, Gary Mansell Llb Rpf, Peter Marshall Phd Rpf, and Ken Zelke Rpf. The ABCFP is honored to present this year's Distinguished Forest Professionals with a gift of Indigenous art. Each Distinguished Forest Professional received a red cedar panel carved by Coast Salish artist Doug Horn and was chosen to recognize and raise awareness of the importance of forests and trees to Indigenous peoples and cultures. The work of each of our Distinguished Forest Professional Award winners have done in caring for our forests and to help support reconciliation with Indigenous peoples through education, awareness, and inclusion is a guiding principle of the ABCFP. We hope these gifts help to spark many future discussions, reflections, and understandings of your achievements in the forestry profession and the diverse peoples and cultures which forests sustain in BC. Our first Distinguished Forest Professional of 2021 is Stephen Lorimer Rpf. Steve has dedicated 50 years of his working life to the improvement of forest management, most of that as an active member of the ABCFP. After most of that career with major forest companies, Steve continues as an active RPF, supporting First Nations and communities to compile strategies and plans for local forest management. Steve began his career with BC Forest Products in Port Renfrew. Cruising, planning, harvest block design, and reforestation were all parts of his purview, beginning decades of participating in research and tree improvement, including playing a key role in establishing the Mount Newton tree seed orchard in Saanich. He's overseen tens of millions of seedlings planted, tens of thousands of hectares reforested, and contributed data to dozens of public and private research trials for pest and invasive species management in the most productive timberlands in Canada, on the coast of BC from Haida Gwaii to Sooke. In the early 1980s, Steve took a leadership role in establishing public campsites on private timberlands. Today, these continue as a popular destination and informational opportunity for the public to learn about forestry in an immersive way. Steve also established some of the first meaningful long-term contracts of forestry services with First Nations, which continue today as mature forest companies. Steve has mentored hundreds of forest professionals directly and indirectly, educated countless members of the public about the profession. Steve was also involved as a member of the ABCFP Council for 5 years. He was the 65th president in 2012 and chair of the 2015 ABCFP Conference Host Committee. And for almost 40 years, he's been a member of the Canadian Institute of Forestry. He's also volunteered his time to the boards of the Private Forest Landowners Association, Forex, BIU Forestry Program Advisory Committee, FIA Forest Sciences, Marmot Recovery Foundation, and the BC Forest Discovery Centre. Steve continues to deliver outstanding service to the profession. He furthers the ABCFP's principles every day he turns up to work with his reliable smile, precise knowledge, and contagious laugh. 47 years is a long time, and Steve has been an ambassador for the profession for each of them. Congratulations, Steve.
My thanks to the Association for this award. I'm truly honored to receive it. It is an even greater honor to be placed in such distinguished company as those previously recognized for their contributions to forestry in British Columbia. 50 years ago, this year, I applied to become a forester in training with the association, and 2 years later became an RPF. As an industry forester, I've worked on the coast, in the southern interior, and in Vancouver. The diversity of locations and job responsibilities have allowed me to participate in multiple aspects of forestry and even media relations. I don't think they offered that course at UBC Forestry when I attended. I was fortunate that employers and professionals that I worked with challenged me with assignments that continually enlarged my scope of practice. I was constantly learning and hopefully passing the knowledge gained on to others. For forest professionals in British Columbia, change is a constant, whether driven by technology, operating practices, policy changes, or personal circumstances, and we need to remain flexible and open as we continue our education and promotion of good forestry. I retired in 2009 after 37 rewarding years working for Timber West and predecessor companies, but I wanted to keep involved in forestry, so continued to do part-time consulting. My volunteer experiences have also been enlightening and rewarding. I was privileged to serve on the Abcfp Council from 2009 to 2013, including a year as president. Currently, I'm on the board of the BC Forest Discovery Centre in Duncan. Volunteering is a great way to promote our profession. Today, I'm primarily working with the Client Community Forest, a joint venture partnership with the Patchedat First Nation and the Lake Cowichan Community Forest Co-op. It's rewarding to see them reaping the benefits from the management of their community forest. In summary, a special thanks goes to those who nominated me for this prestigious award: Domenico, Pam, Molly, Aaron, Bill, Gary, Al, James, Aaron, and Rick. And thanks to my wife Joanne, who has been such a great support to me all these years since she joined me on this venture by moving from Vancouver to Port Renfrew. Our goal has always been to finish well.
Congratulations again, Steve. Our next distinguished forest professional is Gary Mansell Llb, Rpf. Gary has been a mentor to many and an example of professional excellence to many more. Through his actions, attitude, passion, and example, he has helped to advance the profession over his long career. From shake mills to working for Jerry Birch at BCFP to surveying remote watersheds, Gary put in his time in the field and manufacturing before creating a niche as one of BC's foremost forestry lawyers with Davis & Company, now DLL Piper LLP. Gary has trained associates, advised clients, including licensees, contractors, consultants, governments, First Nations, and the Abcfp on forestry-related issues, drafted regulations, toured the province educating professionals on implications of significant legislative changes, and produced the updated The Forest Law Bible, British Columbia Forestry Law, an annotated guide, which is regularly relied on in most woodlands offices across the province. In his spare time, he has been an active volunteer on his local search and rescue team, taught generations of young lawyers about the unique forestry regulatory systems in BC at the UBC Law School, and chaired many a resolution session at Abcfp AGMs. Now retired from law practice, Gary is still sought out for advice and guidance on not just the correct legal course of action, but the right, practical, and pragmatic course of action in forest-related matters. Gary has regularly been recognized as a top lawyer throughout his career, and it is fitting for him to be recognized by his forest profession as a distinguished forest professional. Congratulations, Gary.
I'm surprised and humbled to have been selected to be the recipient of the 2021 Distinguished Forester Award. I'm very pleased to have been recognized by my colleagues, and I'm particularly flattered by the list of nominators. These are friends and clients for whom I have a great deal of respect. Once again, I'm surprised and humbled.
Congratulations again, Gary. Our next distinguished forest professional is Peter Marshall, Phd Rpf. Throughout his long-standing career, Peter has been committed to serving the profession. He has made meaningful contributions to the stewardship of British Columbia's forests, the practice of professional forestry, and the careers of innumerable forest professionals. He has developed and taught courses since his appointment to UBC's Faculty of Forestry in 1983. In addition to professor, his more recent faculty roles include associate dean, academic, as well as director of Asian strategies. His thorough and patient instructional approach has benefited generations of forest professionals in BC and from around the world. Not only from his subject matter expertise, but through his care and dedication to inclusively reaching all learners. In addition to his other roles, Peter has been a longtime supporter of the Canadian Institute of Forestry and a member of the Canadian Forestry Accreditation Board, which reviews university programs for accreditation with the national RPF standards. Peter was also a key contributor to the Abcfp's Board of Examiners for many years, and he is an active member of the Abcfp's Investigations Committee. He also served as president of the Abcfp from 2003 to 2004 and president of the CIF from 2008 to 2009. He has helped to advance Indigenous forestry education and reconciliation in BC and has been instrumental in the academic accreditation and ongoing leadership of the academic programs now offered through the Haida Gwaii Institute since the early days of its formation. The Haida Gwaii Institute, and in particular its Haida Gwaii semester program, is an example of intercultural land-based education in collaboration with Indigenous and academic entities, along with other local community organizations. Peter's efforts were key to establishing the semester programs and the Institute and to obtaining university course accreditation for this unique program, through which hundreds of Indigenous and non-Indigenous teachers and students have come together for immersive and transformative learning experiences. This program is deeply informed by traditional and ongoing Indigenous knowledge, connection with the land, and co-management. Peter has also been actively involved in setting the standards of education and knowledge required by the Forest Professional Regulators of Canada, FPRC, as well as their predecessors, the CFPFA. These standards determine both what is required for accreditation of university-level forestry programs in Canada, as well as the standards of certification of applicants to the profession from non-accredited programs. Peter has been instrumental in the development of these standards and has left a legacy of his knowledge at both the national and provincial level. Peter has been passionately devoting his time and effort to the Abcfp and the forestry profession as a whole throughout his career. Through the years, he has sponsored over 30 trainees and provided mentorship to countless local and foreign graduates who hope to become a practicing forest professional in BC. Congratulations, Peter.
I apologize for coming to you as a disembodied voice. I'm recovering from an eye infection as of the time of this recording, and my face still looks a little grosser than it usually does. I'm truly honored to be recognized for the Distinguished Forest Professional Award. Given the quality of the other individuals receiving the award this year, and those who may have received this award in past years, it is a community with whom I am very proud to be associated. I also wish to thank those folks who put together my nomination. They were able to find out enough about what I have allegedly contributed to the forestry profession in this province and elsewhere in Canada without any knowledge on my part that this was going on. Consequently, it came as a very pleasant surprise when I was informed that I would be receiving this award. I also feel more than a little guilty about being recognized for doing work that has literally provided its own rewards to me. Almost all of my involvement with the forestry profession over the years has been a great deal of fun. I've got to wrestle with some very interesting issues with a great group of people, staff, and fellow volunteers alike that I would not have had a chance to work with in my day-to-day job as an academic. The time flexibility inherent in my job also gave me the opportunity to become involved in more ways than might have been the case for many folks in different positions. I truly found that many of the things I was involved at with the profession provided me with a sense of balance, an effective yang, if you will, for the more esoteric yin of conducting research, teaching, and administration within a university environment. For me, at least, getting involved has always been a pleasure. I would be remiss if I did not recognize at least one specific individual in my remarks, the late Dr. Harry Smith. When I joined UBC in the early 1980s, Harry encouraged me to get involved with the forestry profession. I wasn't always smart enough to listen to all of the good advice I've received over the years from Harry and from quite a number of other mentors. However, I'm very happy that I followed that particular advice. Although I retired from UBC at the end of December, I hope to remain active as a professional for as many years as I think I can still make a contribution. Consequently, I look forward to working with many of you in a variety of capacities over the coming years. I thank you again very much for this recognition.
Congratulations again, Peter. Our final distinguished forest professional for 2021 is Ken Zelke Rpf. Throughout his career, Ken has exemplified what it is to be a forest professional. He is passionate about land stewardship and brings science and common sense to the various challenges he has taken on. During his career, he has made many significant contributions to advanced forestry education, including the Forest Management Institute of BC, the UBC Masters of Sustainable Forest Management Program, and the Ontario Advanced Forestry Education Program. Ken also developed or co-developed and delivered over 25 separate training packages for government, industry, and First Nations clients throughout BC, the US, and Australia. These training packages were aimed at partial cutting silviculture systems, ecosystem-based management, wind throw risk management, and a variety of silviculture practices. Ken has designed protocols for the evaluation of partial cutting silvicultural systems and was a key part of the team that developed the variable retention silvicultural system when Macmillan Bloedel was looking for an alternative to clear cutting on the BC coast. He has improved the management of wind throw risk in BC by helping to design the original provincial hazard and risk protocol, updating it in 2001, and further updating it in 2010 to create a unique coastal version, along with a manual. He also helped to design and deliver training for these protocols across the province. Ken also developed a new approach to management for hydro-riparian systems under ecosystem-based management in the Great Bear Rainforest of the BC coast, testing and refining a provincial effectiveness monitoring approach for riparian management, and developing a best management practices guide for riparian zone management in BC. He's volunteered for both the executive and technical committees for the Canadian Standards Association during the review of the Z809 Sustainable Forest Management Standard, and he served on the Abcfp's Stewardship Advisory Committee from 2005 to 2011. He was also a long-serving executive member of the Southern Interior Silviculture Committee from 1997 to 2006. Most recently, Ken has been involved with supporting the province in designing forest landscape planning and other Forest and Range Practices Act changes. He is now working to help pilot these new planning processes. His breadth of experience, expertise, professionalism, and keen desire to enhance forest management fuel the ways in which Ken conducts and approaches professionalism in an ever-changing set of societal expectations. Congratulations, Ken.
First, I would like to thank my 14 nominators for this honor and my family, my wife, Jessie, and my daughter, Leah, who have supported me for the whole journey that's been my career. When I started working in forestry in 1982 after graduating from UBC, the terms biodiversity, variable retention, and shared decision-making had not yet been coined. And although the theory behind the greenhouse effect was in all our ecology textbooks, there was no serious discussion yet about climate change in any context. I've shared a wild learning curve over the past 40 years with so many incredible people. Stu DeVerney and everyone I worked with at Selkirk College and all of my students, you deepen my love for this art and science and my commitment to help people understand the complexity of it all. To the leaders like Shannon Jansen, Jeff Mycock, John Deal, Bill Beasy, Mike Bragg, Lauren Bedford, Diane Nichols, Rachel Pollard, Ben Morton, Dan Cardinal, John Innes, and so many others. You folks provided leadership at just the right time, and I thank you for including me in on that. For all those folks I have and continue to collaborate with, but especially Ken Day, Laurie Kremsetter, Carmen Smith, Glennis Horrell, Cam Brown, Pat Bryant, Barry Snowden, and all you young professionals I've worked with over the past couple of years, it's been a joy to swap ideas and build solutions with you. To my former associates at the BC Forest Practices Board, I believe your organization is the finest of its kind in the world, and I still have the board logo tattooed on my heart. I'd like to thank the Indigenous nations I worked with for opening my eyes to perspectives forged over thousands of years. And lastly, I have to thank my very good friend, colleague, and business partner, Bryce Bancroft, who we also honor today. Bryce, we shared so many ideas, thoughts, adventures, projects, and laughs. Our goal always was to have fun and do interesting work that would make a difference, and I believe we've achieved that. For all these outstanding professionals, this award is a tribute to what we've accomplished together. Thank you all so much. There's still more fun ahead. And if you want me to leave you with a pearl of wisdom, I will only say this: for everything we do in the forest, context matters. Every generality must be followed by "it depends." Thanks again.
Congratulations, Ken. And congratulations again to all our award winners. The Abcfp awards are based on nominations by your peers. This recognition for your excellent work and support of our profession is both humbling and meaningful, and serves as an example of the high standards to which all forest professionals who care for BC's forests should strive to attain. Your commitment to the profession is inspiring and grants the social license with the public in British Columbia. Thank you to everyone for joining us for our virtual conference. It has been an absolute pleasure to be a part of this event. It has also been an honor and privilege to serve the Abcfp and forest professionals as the 74th president. And that's a wrap for the Abcfp's 74th Annual Forestry Conference and AGM. Our 2023 conference is scheduled for Prince George. 2023 also marks the 75th anniversary of the Association of BC Forest Professionals. What a journey it's been, from the inception of the Foresters Act to today under the Professional Governance Act. What I know is BC's forests are in good hands because of the qualified and dedicated forest professionals working across our great province. Have a great day, everyone.